Just as he was touching fish in the studio, he found $3.6 million more in his account. Recalling his boss's demanding ways every day, colleagues constantly mocking him behind his back, he could only pretend not to notice. Once a failure in life, now smirking at the huge sum. Just then, the boss came to pick a fight.
You've got your review coming up next week, and I can't wait to start checking me off some big fucking boxes.
Facing the 661-pound pressure, this time, he exploded completely.
Shut the fuck up!
Surprising all his colleagues around, he grabbed the stapler and smashed it to pieces directly.
Go fuck yourself.
He fired the boss, departing gracefully, approaching colleagues with grass hats. He grabbed a keyboard and swung it directly. This moment completely changed his life, venting the pent-up anger completely. Jack felt great. He walked into a convenience store. Suddenly, a beautiful woman approached him. Can't believe it. Love comes so quickly too? But the woman spoke. Your dad is dead. Jack's face darkened. The woman said, the person who killed your father is behind you. Then she pushed him down, and swiftly fired a shot. Indeed, there was an assassin across. This sudden gunfight left Jack stunned instantly. He tried to get up and run, but the woman pinned him down. Calmly turning back, while Jack was petrified on the spot, he ran outside frantically. The assassin drove a truck towards him. In this life-or-death moment, the woman drove a racing car to the rescue. But the assassin chased relentlessly. The woman fired several shots ahead, shattering the glass, jamming the accelerator. She handed the steering wheel to Jack, while she hooked her legs inside and leaned out, then dual-wielded guns, suppressing the assassin unable to retaliate. Suddenly, a bus came from behind. The woman had to duck. At the opportune moment, the assassin fired. 2 bullets arched in the air, directly hitting the car's tires. By now, the police had blocked the intersection. The woman floored the gas, then steered the car to death. The car soared into the air, performed a 360-degree rotation, and landed on a bus, making a swift escape. By this time, Jack had fainted in terror. When he woke up again, he was brought to a mysterious organization, called the Assassin Alliance. Then an old man approached, handing Jack a gun, telling him to shoot a fly. If he missed, he'd die. Jack was dumbfounded. What kind of joke was this? But a gun was already against his head. Someone threatens him to shoot the wings off a fly. If he misses, he'll die. Under intense pressure, his strange disease flares up. This time his heart rate surpasses 600. In an instant, his senses change. Things around him slow down, and he sees the fly's wings. John beside him says, welcome to the Assassin Alliance, gathering the world's top assassins. Jack's father was one of them, but a few days ago, he had an accident on a mission. The contact got shot in the head. He rushed to the end of the corridor, but not to escape. Rather, to gather strength, he roared towards the building where the sniper was, like a hurricane, speed enough to knock people over. Then he smashed through the glass, leapt hundreds of meters into the air. In midair, he drew his gun, and shot enemies hiding behind walls in the head. With a final flick of the gun, the bullet formed an arc. All enemies were eliminated. He landed smoothly, not even a hair out of place. Then the phone rang. The voice on the other end said only one thing.
Goodbye, Mr. X.
It turns out, just now, a bullet hit his forehead precisely. The one who killed him was also the top assassin of the Assassin Alliance. This person had already betrayed the Alliance, but the Alliance couldn't do anything to him. After searching, they finally found the only person who could defeat the traitor. That's Jack. John also told Jack, the mysterious assassin who tried to kill him a few days ago, was also the traitor. Listening to John's story, Jack was baffled. His father never cared for him since he was young. Who would believe such words? But John said, you're a descendant of the Assassin Alliance, with innate assassin talent. Only you can avenge your father. Jack refused outright. He didn't want to live a life dripping with blood all day. But in the next moment, John offered him a condition he couldn't refuse. As long as Jack joined the Alliance, not only would the Vixen be his sparring partner, but his father's $3.6 million savings and properties would all be his. Otherwise, he'd get nothing. Jack listened, conflicted, remembering how he was suppressed by his boss at work. So he made a decision in his heart. He chose to join. His first lesson as an assassin was to learn to take a beating. He was tied up, hands and feet, and beaten relentlessly. Training in close combat knife skills, he was chased by a butcher with a cleaver. Building courage and resilience had him standing on top of a moving train, dodging impact at the last second. Reaction ability was sticking his hand into a sewing machine and retrieving a shuttle spinning at 300 RPM. Jack passed out every day from the intense training, but woke up the next day in a liquid. This medicine could quickly heal wounds, but day after day, Jack was driven insane by the training intensity. At this point, John started brainwashing again. He said, your father abandoned you, but actually, he was protecting you. Understanding his father's intentions, Jack finally made a decision. He would avenge his father, with a goal in mind. His training speed skyrocketed, soon passing all tests, but still unable to make bullets curve. Until one day, the Vixen walked up. She offered to be the obstacle. but Jack tried several times in a row, always falling just a bit short. To bring out Jack's potential, the vixen voluntarily stepped in front of the target.
To the target.
Under immense pressure, Jack's assassin talent was pushed to the limit. He suddenly flicked his wrist. Finally, Jack became a qualified assassin. Also, he learned the ultimate secret of the Assassin Alliance. Members of the Alliance are never hired by people, but by fate. Thousands of years ago, a group of weavers found a mysterious code in the loom. They transcribed these codes with a magnifying glass, reassembled according to binary rules. The result was a person's name. Anyone whose name appears on the loom of fate is marked for death. And the creed of the Assassin Alliance is to eliminate these individuals, but Jack didn't believe it at all. How could that be possible? But the vixen told her story. At the age of 6, she witnessed her mother being killed by a villain, and the villain's name appeared in the loom. So killing one villain could save thousands of people? After listening, Jack no longer doubted. But his first assassination target didn't go smoothly. Jack fired several shots in a row, only to find out it was bulletproof glass. The target smirked and walked away, but the next moment, he wasn't laughing anymore. A series of crazy maneuvers successfully took down the target. That night, Jack encountered the traitor again. The two immediately started shooting at each other, but in the end, he not only failed to kill his enemy, but also accidentally killed a member of the Alliance. His comrade died. Jack felt immense guilt, but at that moment, he noticed that the bullets used by the traitor were very special. Only one person in the world could make them, so he quickly followed the clues to find this craftsman. The other was very straightforward. Said the traitor would be waiting for him on a train. Jack hurriedly rushed over. At the same time, the vixen received a new assassination task, and Jack's name was written on the list. At this moment, the two enemies met on the train. Suddenly, a woman stood in between them. Both of them used strange techniques simultaneously, and two bullets curved and collided in midair. At this moment, the vixen crashed in with a car. The traitor immediately shot at her. Jack reacted swiftly, quickly using a bullet to block. This intense fight caused half of the train carriage to fall off a cliff. Seeing Jack about to be crushed to death, in a life-or-death moment, a hand grabbed him. The person who saved him turned out to be the traitor. Jack was stunned at first, but soon realized now was the perfect time for revenge. He immediately locked the traitor's arm and shot him in the heart. The train collapsed at this moment. Fortunately, the carriage got stuck between cliffs. Jack survived by a hair's breadth. He aimed his gun at the traitor, but the traitor revealed an astonishing truth. He said he was Jack's real father. The Alliance had deceived Jack. Jack was incredulous, but the vixen behind him confirmed the traitor's words. It turned out, because the traitor's power was too strong, the Alliance couldn't control him well, so they had to find someone who could make him let his guard down, to eliminate him, and the only candidate was his son. At this point, the vixen raised her gun, ready to kill Jack. Jack smashed the glass and jumped into the sea. When he woke up again, he found the craftsman had saved him. He went to his father's house. Through the window, he could see his own rented house clearly. Turns out, his father had been by his side all along, and every previous firefight wasn't to kill him, but to get rid of the Alliance members around him. His father was framed as a traitor by the Alliance, because John wanted to use the name of fate to eliminate all competitors, and his father found out. The real name that appeared in the loom was actually John's. Understanding everything, Jack was furious. He drove a garbage truck straight into the Alliance's headquarters, opening the compartment amidst a hail of bullets. In an instant, tens of thousands of rats rushed out, crawling into every corner of the base, with timed explosives strapped to them. After a huge explosion, Jack took action, smashing through the glass. His assassin talent fully unleashed at this moment. He wielded dual guns alone, leaving behind a trail of cold bodies wherever he went. After a fierce battle, he rushed into John's room, but unexpectedly, he was ambushed by a dozen assassins. He loudly spoke the truth to everyone, but to his surprise, John didn't refute at all. Instead, he admitted to the facts directly, and he held a dozen Weaver lists in his hand. It turned out, not just his name, but the names of all the high-ranking members in the organization had appeared in the loom. At this point, he arrogantly gave everyone two options: either kill him, then everyone commits suicide, or kill Jack, and they continue to enjoy life on Earth. Almost everyone chose the latter, but only the vixen. She firmly believed in the principles of fate. The next shot would be her answer. The bullet drew a perfect circle, piercing through everyone's heads, including her own. Unfortunately, John took advantage of the chaos to escape, and he took back Jack's money. Jack returned to his original life again, until one day, a gun was pointed at Jack's head. But when he turned around, John was dumbfounded, and when he looked down, he fell for it.
Oh, fuck.
The same technique, just like his father's. The bullet pierced through the bakery owner's donut, through the treacherous lovers who betrayed him, through thousands of miles away, and then hit John's head dead center. After doing all this, he woke up from the dream, and it's time to get back to work.
What the fuck have you done lately?